a sleazy plan all along. The pair's lies are exposed. Their claims have been debunked by leaked footage of Harry and Meghan Markle. There is a discrepancy between the Sussexes' Megxit claim and previously unseen footage of them. A hearty welcome to the official YouTube channel for all things related to UK royal news trend. Prince Harry has the pinched expression of a man shooting a proof-of-life video in a Cartagena basement as he looks directly into the camera. He was staying at the Windsor Suites at Heathrow Airport on March the 11th, 2020. The obvious stress and emotion have nothing to do with the fact that a visit to the private lounge will set you back $5,000. This on top of the cost of a business or a first-class ticket. Included in the more than 15 hours of recording he and his wife Meghan made of themselves in the first few months of that year, it shows the couple escaping the royal family like the Bonnie and Clyde of the TikTok generation. The 6 episodes of their self-titled Netflix series are peppered with these clips and a plethora of never-before-seen behind-the-scene photos, making it difficult to keep up. Is that Harry I heard varnishing some wood in the garden while munching on a cone of cob? There is a serious problem with the proliferation of digital mementos, not least because, without a hint of irony, Meghan says, "We've been really conscious of protecting our kids," after their children had already been exposed to 223 million Netflix users for nearly 6 hours. Yes, that's the ticket. The real catch with the photos and the video is the timing, as they raise the question of when Harry and Meghan first began plotting their great escape and when they intended to sell the story to the highest bidder. While transitioning from working members of the royal family to professional malcontents, Harry says in the first episode that a friend of ours actually suggested that we document ourselves through this period of time. Therefore, it was extremely convenient that they had already had all those hours of footage stashed away in their iCloud when they reportedly signed their $140 million deal with Netflix in September 2020. In spite of the fact that the entire series is now available, many gaps remain in our understanding of what happened and when. The photographs we see of the interior of Buckingham Palace during the same trip are similarly authentic. The Telegraph stated earlier this month that the late Queen would not have approved of the photographer being present. When these events were recorded in HD, it was likely with the intention that they would eventually be made available to the public. However, the Duke claims in Harry and Meghan that they didn't find out their taxpayer-funded protection was being revoked until later that month, forcing him to come up with the cash to pay for the massive bodyguards. It's ironic that the British government decided to stop footing the bill once they lost all official status and relocated to another country. He told Oprah that they considered sleeping with a streamer because they needed the money. "All I needed was enough money to be able to pay for security to keep my family safe." Contrarily, judging by what Harry and Meghan are wearing in the photos taken in their kitchen on March the 7th, it appears that the photos were taken on that date. For what reason then were they being photographed? Possibly by a professional, before they knew the bad news about their bodyguards? The Sussexes claim that they only thought about going down the TV path once they left the UK has also been called into question by the previous reporting. The Telegraph reported in December that in 2018, Meghan had approached the streaming giant about producing an animated children's series. And in a subsequent report, it was revealed that the Sussexes had approached the now defunct Quibi. From early 2019 until January 2020. The bigger issue of Megxit's timeline also needs to be addressed. The plans to relocate to South Africa, which Harry says they discussed at the beginning of 2019, was derailed when the press found out about it. Then, at the end of December 2019 and the beginning of January 2020, I've been on the phone to my father saying, "We've got a plan. What if we uproot and go to Canada?" he asked. How in the world does that square with his other statement that by the time I was speaking to my father from Canada, the family and their people knew that we were trying to find a different way of working for at least 2 years? Is it really going to be 2 years? That would place Harry and Meghan's discussions about working differently before their May 2018 wedding, when the royal family and the UK government spent millions on staging a wonderfully exuberant celebration. Furthermore, this would have occurred before the Sussexes' strained relationship with the British press, which began in the latter half of 2018. I feel like my mind is going to explode. How about you? In the film, Harry and Meghan tell the audience with great solemnity that they are about to correct the record. Now that we've watched the entire series, however, we have more questions than answers. The Sussexes told the world in their engagement interview in 2017 that he proposed to Meghan while they were in the kitchen roasting a chicken. Now we know he got down on bended knee in their garden surrounded by tacky battery-powered candles. In a similar vein, Harry told the BBC's Miss Hall Hussein it was definitely a setup. It was a blind date. It has now been revealed in this series that the two Sussexes actually connected through the photo sharing app Instagram. I feel completely lost and confused by the current situation. What then are we to make of the 15 hours of footage they reportedly shot in the early months of 2020? This, when they were still functioning as members of the royal family and representatives of the late Queen, as reported by the New York Times. It's possible that the incessant reflection into the blinking red light of a front-facing camera is perfectly rational, given that we see them meditating and that they discussed journaling at one point while the Duchess was pregnant. Or was it possible that someone already knew that the inside scoop on one of the most critical crises in modern royal history would be worth millions? Prince Andrew's convicted sex offender status will always be the most pressing emergency. While being filmed, Harry proudly proclaims, "We know the full truth." But have we learned anything new from Harry and Meghan about what might be? Is that so? Can you comment on their dishonesty? Tell us what you think by commenting below. And feel free to bring up this couple in conversation. You can like and share my video whenever you think it's cool, especially if you find it interesting. Click the subscribe button now if you want to see more videos featuring UK royal news trend. Okay, I appreciate you tuning in, so have a good night and I'll see you tomorrow.